Bye-bye, Dingodile. It's time to move on to World 3.
We will miss him.
So it's time for the next underwater level, but we have a message first.
Well, haven't we gotten far for a pair of fuzzy marsupials? I am Dr. Nefarious Tropy, master of time and the creator of the very time twister machine you see before you. Uka Uka and Dr. Cortex have sent me to end this little charade, so you won't be leaving my area with the crystals. I swear it.
And yes, following the naming convention of every other enemy in the Crash series, his name is Entropy.
I can't say they're not clever.
And thankfully, we get to start this level right away with the mini submergible. I can't remember if I mentioned this in the other swimming level, but this works like a Yoshi mount, essentially, where it'll take one hit of damage for you, but then you lose it. The same rules apply to another mount that we'll encounter a bit later on. And in these sections, you're forced to leave it behind.
It's like those Mario Maker levels that make you kill Yoshi.
Yeah, I guess so. So, not to keep shitting on Wrath of Cortex, but in those sections, there are some vehicle sections where it's mandatory, whereas you can leave the submergible behind if you don't want to get the clear gem. There's also these weird whirlpool things, which are very difficult to dodge if you're not spamming the spin attack.
Oh, pufferfish.
Yep, there were pufferfish in the first swimming level as well. I think this is the video where we finally get to see the underwater death animations at the end.
So it's not like Sonic the Hedgehog where you can drown.
No, I mean, he has scuba equipment, for one thing.
Maybe Sonic should get some scuba equipment. I mean, seems like a simple solution.
Well, that's strange. We'll come back to that later, but first let's follow this very obvious fish hook. Crash 3 has significantly less backtracking than the other games. This is one of the few levels in Crash 3 where you really need to backtrack a lot in order to get everything.
But you can get everything on the first trip.
Yeah. Tomb Time, which was the ancient Egyptian level we went to earlier, is the only level where you can't get the clear gem on your first trip. The colored gems, most of them you can't get on your first trip, but when it comes to the clear gems, it's only that one level. And this section it's pretty much guaranteed you'll lose your submergible. And eventually I just accepted my fate. So here's an exclamation crate. And we're basically going to have to backtrack halfway through the level. Do you remember that one outline crate from before?
Mm-hmm.
There it is.
Fills it in. Aha.
And it offers you a new passage here. This is the only way to get both the red gem as well as the clear gem. Because there is a checkpoint crate. Crash 3 has an interesting system for making checkpoints in some of the alternate paths without actually having them count towards the box count. But we'll see that a bit later in this video. And I can't remember if I mentioned it earlier, but when it comes to a falling TNT crate, if there's another box on top of it, that will trigger the detonation.
Gotcha.
Whereas if it's just on its own, it won't trigger.
It'll just drop.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh god, Crash.
I don't. This is the second game in a row where he's had a red jam animation pulling it out of his ass. It can't be scripted.
He's really got to see his doctor.
So here's another medieval English peasant level. And here is the titular doubleheader. It is just called a double-headed monster. And
oh god,
a mutant lab assistant. And I don't know if they've added it or not, but it looks like I always thought as a kid that he was swinging clubs around. Those are full chickens. Headless chickens at that.
That is full cooked chickens.
Well, maybe partially cooked. Then again, you don't want to eat partially cooked chicken.
Steak tartare good, chicken tartare bad.
And if we're going by the damage rule, the damage logic of the Crash games, partially cooked chicken will kill you in one hit. That combination of boxes is something that hasn't really been used since the first game that much. Where you have to jump and spin in the middle in order to make sure you don't detonate the TNT crates.
I love the goat.
Yeah, that particular goat is the SGOAT, the second greatest of all time. And we have the return of the wizard lab assistant. I can't remember if I showed it off in the earlier video, but you can actually deflect his magic blast with the spin attack if you time it right. And something I recently learned is that the wizard in the PAL version of the original Crash 3 has 2 hit points, and in the second one he's naked except for underpants.
Huh. Oh! Reference to Ghosts and Goblins.
Yeah, probably. Then again, not everything has to be a reference.
Sometimes a wizard just likes to be, airy.
Sometimes a naked underpants wizard is just a naked underpants wizard. Anyway, here's a sneaky little puzzle here. You don't want to detonate those TNT crates, because there are some exclamation mark crates you want to hit here. And those 2 boxes there you have to get with the double jump. This starts a trend in later levels where bonus rooms will specifically challenge your ability to use specific moves.
I love these playthroughs because you're just banking lives like crazy.
Although, funny enough, there are separate trophies for getting 99 lives in each of the 3 Crash games, and despite having most of the trophies in this game, I don't have those. This placement is kind of weird. I feel like this should have been the level geometry for the very first time that you encounter the double-headed monsters, to teach you first that you could jump on them, and then, oh, now we could double jump on them.
It is a little bit weird, yeah.
And I don't think you can actually... I mean, like, you can knock the double-headed monsters over, but I don't think you can kill them in the same way that you can kill every other enemy.
Actually get rid of them, yeah.
So, you know what? We've had 2 entire platforming levels this update. Actually, we've only had 1. And that's just 1 too many. So I feel we should, take a break from this warp room. And instead, there was a weird looking raised platform in the middle right here. What's this all about?
Uh-oh. What do we got here?
So in Crash 2, we had that secret warp room that you could only get in certain circumstances, and it's placed here instead. And this is something that was also in the original version of Crash 3. Anyway, the yellow gem, this is the only way to get it. There is actually a different way to get it later, but that's the sequence break, which I can't quite do. And also, these secret levels require a certain amount of time trial relics to get, and I have been sneakily getting time trial relics off screen so that I can keep a reasonable pace for this LP.
So these are like bonus levels. They don't count towards. I mean, they must count towards completion, but
This is kind of like the alternate path to Road to Ruin, if you remember that one.
okay.
Where you had to go into the secret warp room in order to get it to a specific section. That was the only way you could get the clear gem in that level. Although there's only 2 of them, only 2 secret exits in this game, and the rest are secret levels. In addition to other, even more secret levels that we'll be seeing later. And as I mentioned earlier, there is a way to get the yellow gem early without having to go through this. Although if memory serves, actually completing this section, or like going through the door, counts as 1% towards your playthrough, towards your 100% rank.
Hello, Coco.
And speaking of secret levels, another color gem path is opened.
So, you pesky little rats aren't going to back off, eh? Just you continue to gather crystals and see what I do.
Sir, that is an amazing hat.
So, anyway, let's go over to this path here, which is unlocked with the red gem that we got from Deep Trouble. Yeah, this one thankfully doesn't have any crates, or rather, it doesn't have any traditional crates, because instead we have Naughty Dog's workaround for adding checkpoints. This is the Iron Checkpoint crate. It does not count towards your overall box crate total, but it does save your progress.
Oh.
I have alluded to this story in the past, but so Crash Team Racing also had a remaster called Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled. I have not played that because it's exclusive to PS4 and Xbox One, with no news of a PC release anytime soon. And because this is a racing game with online multiplayer, Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled has a bunch of DLC, and including like tracks and characters that weren't in the original game. And there was a secret character that Toys for Bob, who were working on Nitro Fueled, have been hyping up for months, with little clues left if players data mined. They were hyping it up for a long time, and in a reveal, they said that their secret driver, the next DLC character, would be the Iron Checkpoint crate. Not a character. You played as the crate in a go-kart.
Oh my god. Please tell me they made good on that.
Yeah, they did.
Oh, thank you, Naughty Dog.
Or I think it was Toys for Bob who did this at that point. But yeah, they were certainly acting. They were acting with the spirit of old Naughty Dog, perhaps.
A little cheeky about their reveals, perhaps a little naughty.
And just some more death animations at the end here, primarily for the swimming levels, as well as a couple from the jet ski levels. My favorite is the pufferfish.
Oh my god. Poor Coco.
Yeah, As I mentioned before, Coco's death animations are not nearly as violent as Crash's. I mean, she does give that little glare to the camera, which I think is pretty great. But yeah, I mean, these are holdovers from when she was playable in Crash 3. But thankfully, in Crash 4, Crash and Coco have very similar death animations. So finally, gender equal slapstick has been brought back.